Yeah, at least for the first round. Well, hopefully just for the first round. If I lose, it'd be for both rounds. It's weird. The submission day today, but we still don't have a bracket. So I'm going to have to figure it out myself here. I think I'm the number 4 seed. It's right here. So if I were to lose, if I win, I get to update again. So I only need to worry if I lose. If I lose, yeah, I have no idea where I go. Maybe I can figure it out by last season's bracket.
Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore.
I was just watching a replay from you. And now you are live. Nice.
Nice. That was, oh, where's my stream labels? There it is. Agent Cooper, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. 15 months in a row. Okay, bracket. So last season, if the number 4 person lost, he would drop down and face the number 7 versus number 10. Well, let's hope it's set up the same. Okay, and 7 versus 10 would be Sharpened Edge versus Spud. So I couldn't end up versus a Terran or a Protoss next round, and I'm versus a Zerg this round. Oh, that doesn't simplify things at all. There's a potential of facing all 3 races then. Hey, Blixel, how's it going? Basically, this is the bracket. Is this big enough? Yeah, I can make it bigger. That was a mistake. Always open this image in new tab. There we go. So this is the 2 starting brackets. Week 1 and week 2 will be the first 8 games. Losers go to the losers bracket the next week. And then before week 4, we all get to update again. So if you lose, you don't get to update. So before week 4, we get to update. So that will cover this round and this round. And then before week 6, we get to update again. So as long as you're always winning, you get to update before each match. And then after week 6, there's no more updates. So they complete the whole final 10, I guess it is, bots. There'll be no more updates. I don't like this system because if you put a bug in your bot, then you're obviously going to lose. And if you lose, you don't get to update. So then you're going to lose again. So if you have like a game-breaking bug, you'll get knocked out of the upper bracket and get knocked out of the lower bracket without being able to fix it. I pushed hard for them to not do this, but their reasoning was like, well, if you're going to risk doing a snipe build, there needs to be a punishment for it. But I don't think anyone wants to see bugged bots in ProBots, especially not the bot author who put in all the work. Pirate Bay bookmark? Yeah, of course. This is my system for like streaming platforms. You got to have like at least 3 shows I'm interested in watching. If you only have 1 show I'm interested in watching, then I'm not going to purchase your subscription, and I may end up watching the show in a magical way, which will go unmentioned. But I'm old. I'm from the days of torrenting before Netflix was a thing. Let's just move that off the screen. No one will know. Hi. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm probably gonna work under the assumption I'm gonna win, but we'll do a couple test games just to make sure I haven't broken my bot. The problem here is too that I'm creating like a whole new build, which is conflicting with other pieces of my code, like the day before submission, which is not a smart idea. And I'm not even spending today like making sure everything's correct. I'm spending today still working on that build. I don't think the Ghost Marauder build is gonna be ready for prime time, but I think we can beat our first round opponent with it. I don't believe I'm going to be able to pull it off versus like Eris or Zoe, one of like the number 1 and number 2 ranked bots who are both Zerg. And I haven't really tried it so much versus the Terran and Protoss players. Okay, so I got a bit of a to-do list here. I guess what I can do first is kind of show where it's at. Because I did some work on it since last stream. I'll show the game versus my first a practice game versus my first round opponent in ProBots, and I can show you the problems with it. Yeah, the other way I do it for those TV streaming services is just cancel your subscription all the time. You know, when you're flipping around, there's nothing good to see. Just cancel it and sign up for a different subscription. It's like, okay, nothing good on Netflix anymore. Let's switch over to Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime lasts you like a month because there's very little on there. Just turn that off, switch back somewhere else. And by the time you sign up for Netflix again, there's a whole bunch of new content to watch. All right.
Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven,
Nevermore.
nevermore.
Talking about subscriptions.
No typo in that word. That's how you pronounce it. Thanks, Signed. I guess you can do the same thing with streamers too. Just kind of rotate who you give the Twitch Prime to. I have a theory. Now, this might be biased as a small-time streamer, but there gets a point where subbing to a stream will make the stream worse. Because originally, back in the day, when people streamed, they streamed because they're passionate about what they're streaming. But if it gets to the point where people are making a living off of that, or even a really, really good living, then they'll keep streaming just for the money. They won't stream for the passion anymore. And then you get a bunch of people who don't even like enjoy the game they're playing, streaming it full time. So I feel like you want to support such streamers, but only to a certain point. And then you want to cut them off. Is the video stuttering? And maybe someone can answer Camp Cream Cheese. I haven't rebooted for a while. It's smooth on my ends, but who knows what OBS is doing. Yeah, so what had changed since last time? We definitely fixed a lot of things on their ghosts. They'll only snipe overlords if they aren't reachable by using their auto attack. So if the overlord's like going over here, then my ghost will snipe it. Once I move out, it'll start upgrades and attacking towards Starport. Yeah, there's an example. So one thing I noticed was that my ghosts are getting distracted by overlords in the background. And there's a lot of overlords in the background versus the spot. He's like constantly poking in. So my marauders would go on the attack and my ghosts would all go back to deal with the overlords, leaving my marauders to fend for themselves. So what I did is just made my marauders also try to attack overlords and air units. Which is obviously stupid, but it means that my marauders will stay with my ghosts no matter what. And that's created issues in themselves, because now I have my entire army playing with overlords in the background while I'm losing a base to like his attack. It looks like this bot is when he doesn't think he can win a fight, he'll stay away from where he last saw my army. That's why he's kind of like hovering outside of range. Here we can't actually see each other, which is why we're being stupid. But this is kind of the problem with my army. See, my army's like pulling back because like he saw this overlord, or he saw this overlord, and that's what it just does all game long. But I do go double inch bays. One and... Ooh. I say double inch bay. But there's no second inch bay. Guess I'm blind. It could be I didn't set aside enough spaces for 3x3 structures that don't get add-ons. Because now I'm using 1, 2, 3, and then another inch bay is 4. I may have only been setting aside enough space for 3. I'll look into that. Add a note. I think the way I upgrade should be smart enough to still do the upgrades one at a time, just in this inch bay. When either of my bio upgrades are about halfway done, I'll throw down the armory, just so I can continue on to 2-2. And then I do get 1 starport. As I get Vikings, it'll help my bot ignore these overlords, because every time I put a Viking on one of these overlords, my army won't chase after it anymore.
Target acquired.
But anyways, basically this game just plays out like this, where my bot is constantly pulling back to deal with overlords. Which means the Zerg actually takes over the entirety of the map. Now he still loses because apparently my army is just really good. His army's really tentative and my bot just snipes him from range over and over again. But I kind of want to deal with this overlord issue as the big one. Stuttering on your side too. Okay. Well, we just got started. I think I'm actually going to reboot then. Yeah, I'm going to reboot and I'll bring back the stream soon. Is there a way to distinguish between overlords and ones that have vengeful stacks? Yeah, I do put a higher priority on overseers and drop overlords. The API can distinguish between them. Yeah, I'm going to reboot, so I'll be back in about 3 minutes.